One day before the 2026 World Cup begins, a man landed at Miami International Airport with a dream that had taken him his entire life to build. He was not a
40
player.
years ago,
He was
a
not a
young
coach.
Belgian footballer
He
walked
was a
onto the
referee.
Estadio.
The first Somali referee ever selected for a FIFA World Cup. He had a valid visa. He had a FIFA appointment. He had worked his entire career for this single moment. They turned him away at the door. His name is Omar Abdulkadir Artan, and his story is the most powerful and most heartbreaking story of the entire 2026 World Cup, and nobody is talking about it. To understand why this story matters, you need to understand who Omar Artan actually is. Born in Mogadishu, Somalia in 1992. He grew up in one of the most war-torn cities on the planet, a country that spent 3 decades in conflict, instability, and chaos. A nation where football itself almost completely disappeared. But Omar Artan fell in love with football, not as a player, as a referee. He worked his way up through the Somali football system, when there barely was one. He became a FIFA-listed referee in 2018. Then, in January 2024, he made history. He became the first Somali referee ever to officiate at the Africa Cup of Nations. Then came the 2025 FIFA U20 World Cup. He was selected. One of only 3 African referees chosen, the sole representative from sub-Saharan Africa, and then the call every referee dreams of. FIFA selected him for the 2026 World Cup, the greatest stage in football, the biggest tournament on the planet. Omar Artan, from war-torn Mogadishu, was going to the World Cup, Saturday, June 7, 2026. Omar Artan boarded a flight from Istanbul to Miami. He had a valid visa. FIFA had confirmed his appointment. Everything was in order. He landed at Miami International Airport, went through customs, and then the nightmare began. U.S. Customs and Border Protection pulled him aside for additional inspection. They said it was routine, but it was not routine. Hours later, he was told he could not enter the United States. The official statement from CBP said he was determined to be inadmissible due to vetting concerns. No further explanation, no details, no reasons given, just no. You cannot come in, go back. FIFA confirmed it immediately. FIFA can confirm that match official Omar Abdulkadir Artan will be unable to train and officiate at the FIFA World Cup 2026 after he was denied entry into the United States. And the reason, buried at the bottom of every report, is this. Somalia is on President Donald Trump's travel ban list, a list of countries whose citizens face severe restrictions entering the United States. And Omar Artan, FIFA World Cup referee, became its latest victim. Now here is the part that genuinely broke the entire football world. After being turned away at the airport, after having his lifelong dream taken from him in one afternoon, after everything, Omar Artan released a statement. And this is what he said. Despite the circumstances, I am in a positive mood, and I am focused on the next challenges in my refereeing career. I would like to thank FIFA and the African Federation for all their support, and I promise to keep my refereeing levels up as I concentrate on the future. I want to thank the football family for their messages and wish my colleagues all the best success during the World Cup. Read that again. This man just had the biggest opportunity of his entire life taken away from him, one day before the tournament began, and his response was gratitude, positivity, dignity, no anger, no bitterness, no rage, just, I wish my colleagues all the best. 34 years old, from Mogadishu, built everything from nothing, reached the top of his profession, and was turned away at the door with a smile. Now let us talk about what this actually means, because this is not just about one referee. Somalia is on the Trump administration's travel ban list. This means Somali citizens face extreme difficulty entering the United States. Even with valid visas, even with official invitations, even with FIFA appointments. The Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, immediately spoke out. Their deputy director, Edward Ahmed Mitchell, said, "Our nation should not ban anyone from our shores simply because of their race or their ethnicity. That's especially true of a coach or referee or anyone else coming to participate in the World Cup." And FIFA? FIFA said they were powerless. Their statement was clear. FIFA is not involved in host country immigration processes. A host government ultimately determines who receives a visa and who is admitted into their country. Think about that. FIFA selected 52 referees from around the world for this tournament. They chose Omar Artan. They gave him an official appointment, and then could do absolutely nothing to protect him. The New York mayor said before the tournament, football would not exist without immigrants. And yet, one of football's finest officials was turned away because of where he was born. This is the contradiction at the heart of the 2026 World Cup. A tournament celebrating 48 nations, unity, diversity, hosted by a country that banned one of its own officials from entering. Let me tell you what Omar Artan would have been if they had let him through that door. He would have been the first Somali referee in World Cup history. Full stop. Ever. In a country that spent 30 years in civil war. In a nation where football almost died completely. In a place where becoming a FIFA referee seemed as impossible as reaching the moon. Omar Artan had done it. He had refereed the CAF Champions League final in May 2026, just weeks before the World Cup. One of Africa's most prestigious matches. He was at the absolute peak of his career. FIFA had trusted him with the biggest tournament on the planet. 52 referees out of hundreds of thousands worldwide, and Omar Artan was one of them. He was ready. He was worthy. He had earned every single second of it. And a travel ban, signed by a politician, ended it all at Miami Airport on a Saturday afternoon. The 2026 FIFA World Cup begins tomorrow. Billions of people will watch. Players will become legends. Goals will be scored. History will be made. But somewhere, not in a stadium, not on a pitch, a 34-year-old man from Mogadishu will watch it on a screen. The same tournament he was chosen to officiate. The same matches he had prepared his entire life for. Watching from the outside, because of where he was born. Omar Artan said, "I promise to keep my refereeing levels up." And I believe him, because a man who responds to that kind of heartbreak with that kind of dignity deserves every football stage on the planet. Drop a comment below. What do you think about what happened to Omar Artan? Was this fair? Should FIFA have done more? Let me know. Subscribe now, because this World Cup is already full of drama, controversy, and emotion, and we are covering every single story together. See you in the next video.